Hi, my name is Shaylin Hayes Raymond, and I make videos about mental health, shopping, consumerism, and really anything else that I find interesting. This channel is meant for informational and educational purposes only and entertainment. It is not meant to replace any mental health professional, and I just give that intro because I am a therapist in everyday life, but I am not your therapist or an internet therapist. I do have cats though, so that intro is going to be a bit different than I expected. Meet Rupert. He is my co-worker, and okay, he's not gonna go apparently. I have a scarf. So today I wanted to talk about basically YouTube and making videos, and I don't want this to be a overall criticism on all culture or an assumption that it's the same for everybody, but I do want to talk about my own personal experiences as someone who watches a lot of YouTube and as someone who's been thinking about making videos for years, who has made videos for the past decade, even though they were on more work-related channels rather than my own. And I guess the main thing that I want to touch on is how I feel about what I'm wearing in videos. And today I'm wearing just a black t-shirt, jewelry, no makeup, none at all, not even a little bit. And I gotta say, it can be hard to do that for me. I almost feel like if I'm not wearing makeup, if I'm not doing the right things, that I'm not ready to talk. And I've tried to get out of that mind space, and it's been hard. Because one day in a video, I had a tank top on. It was rather respectable. It wasn't that bad. And I get a comment, and it says, you know, you're a professional. You should dress better. And I was just shaking my head because I feel like there is nothing that you can do right for your appearance on the internet. And I do think that, female creators have more pressure, and I'm not necessarily saying that that pressure comes from a specific place. I'm not trying to make this any sort of attack. I'm just talking about what I have personally experienced and what I've heard many other women experience. I gotta admit, I get jealous when I turn on videos, and especially commentary videos, and it's a male creator. And I'll notice, like, there they are, beard, pair of glasses, not a tank top, like any shirts, really, just a t-shirt or sweater, and then they just, they turn on their camera and they start to rant and they make their video, and that's that. And I feel like for me, before I make a video, and some of this is internalized, I don't have to. Today I didn't wear makeup and I didn't have to wear it. But I always feel like there's this internal pressure that there's a checklist of being ready. Like, how does my hair look? Is my makeup done? Am I wearing jewelry? Is my outfit appropriate? And there's this huge checklist that sometimes it becomes so burdensome that I don't record at all, because the idea of getting all dolled up just to talk about whatever topic is on my mind can just add a layer of exhaustion that makes things way too hard. And I am trying to get a lot better with this, and I think it has helped that I am a therapist in digital health. And again, I am not saying that for any reason to make mental health claims. I'm just saying it now that I'm on camera all the time with many people. I'm starting to kind of open up and realize that it's okay to be your authentic self, even if your authentic self isn't put together all the time. Some videos I wear makeup, some videos I wear none, some videos my hair might be in a ponytail and I might be wearing a sweater. And I think that that is something that I've had to kind of take for myself. And I honestly wonder if a lot of other women are in this position where they feel like in order to put themselves out into the world that they need to wear a mask or, become something else to be worthy of society. And like I said, I'm not making this a political issue. I'm not making this some big dramatic thing. I'm just talking about our own self-love, our own self-worth, and our comfort in putting ourselves out to the world. And I do think that a lot of people feel this way, and that pressure might be some external thing that's taken on a life of its own. Whereas if we kind of just start doing our own thing, I believe that there are a lot of people who really do want to be free of that pressure to look a certain way. And I mean, I always go crazy when I hear someone say, your hair is unprofessional. And I'm thinking, what is professional hair? It's just hair. It's literally just hair. No matter what you do with it, it's not that important. I mean, we put so much value into things like hair or your type of shirt, or if you're wearing denim jeans, you're casual, even though it's a very nice pair of pants and you might have it paired with a blazer. And we have so many social rules tied to the way we dress, the way we look, the way we present ourselves. And honestly, I'm just sick of it. I'm 31 now, and for a lot of my youth, I had curly hair and I didn't want to straighten it, so I would just put it in a bun because I felt like if I'm not going to straighten my hair, I'm unworthy of, having my hair down, which is kind of strange to think, but I'd also wear like a tank top and either a pair of jeans or a pair of sweats because I just felt like if I'm not going to put in a lot of effort, I don't deserve a little bit of effort, which is nonsense. And I'm glad that as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that our own personal appearances should not be a checklist for other people. And of course, there's some limits of decency, wearing a shirt in public and wearing clothes, stuff like that. But in general, I think it's just exhausting to think of all the stuff that comes around appearance. I remember watching a video, and it's one creator, and I'm not going to name names because this isn't about that. But she was talking about Apple Watches, and she really hates Apple Watches. Like, this woman has been burned by them. Apple Watches, stole her dog. But anyway, she went on this big, long rant that anybody wearing an Apple Watch was too obsessed with their fitness and that it doesn't even look good and all this. And I'm just sitting here wearing my Apple Watch thinking, oh my God, girl, stop. Why do you care? And she mentioned that if anyone wore them in a wedding photo, that they were horrible people. I'm just thinking, I had actual gold metal bands on mine, but I don't know. I think this is just, there is literally nothing we can do right or wrong to fix every person's standards of what they think others should be doing. And at the end of the day, I think we need to step back and think, okay, maybe that person is comfortable. Maybe that person wears an Apple Watch because they have a health condition and it tells them about it. Or maybe they just like the watch. I have misophonia and I cannot stand a watch that ticks whatsoever or has any blinking, and the Apple Watch, I can just have a flat, just a screen, some roses, no blinking. I lift it up, tells me the time. There's no other frills. But yeah, I'm really curious if people in the comments have experienced this too, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok, or even just going outside to class or to a meeting or really anything in life where you feel pressure to look a certain way or present yourself a certain way, even though you'd rather not. There's certain situations, I stopped dressing uncomfortably while going for long walks because I was always worried about how other people would see me. And eventually I'm like, you know what? This is a long walk. I care more about my clothes being too tight and feeling just more exhausted. And I'm trying to bring comfort back into the equation. And I do think that fashion is an interesting part of society, an interesting part of culture. I have absolutely nothing against fashion. I have absolutely nothing against makeup. I love makeup. I actually make my own. But what I do have something against is this pressure to always be perfect, to always be on. And it is something that's just clawed at me for decades. And I'm trying to get better. I'm honestly trying to get better and trying to accept that, we don't have to be perfect. And honestly, this is what I look like. This is who I am. If I'm wearing makeup some days, that's who I look like. That's who I am. And regardless of what other people think of that, and maybe people will think that I look terrible today and that this video was a terrible idea, and that's totally fine. If you feel that way, that's your prerogative. But what I need for me is to accept that this is me, for better or worse. These terrible teeth, that's me. And I say terrible because that gap has haunted me my whole life. But it's part of me, and I'm starting to learn and accept that. And honestly, I am just too tired to worry about what everyone else thinks about my appearance. I barely even want to think about it anymore. I would rather talk about topics that matter to me, about things that interest me, and I don't know. I think I'm just going to wear whatever I want, within reason.